Everyone talking about why I always spray using a test strip or blotter first and never go directly on skin for the first time that I'm smelling something. Obviously, kind of considered controversial in fragrance stuff. It's very much looked down upon, kind of to use just the fragrance test strip sometimes. Obviously, not, outside of the fragrance really passionate community, because in stores, wherever you're going to be smelling, that's typically what they're giving you to kind of use. But for me, I have a couple reasons why I do it, and I vastly prefer it. One, I want a fragrance that's going to smell good on my shirt, in the air, anything, not just like, well, this smells this way, but oh, I love it on skin. If I only love a fragrance that is, on skin, and I don't like the smell as much when it's kind of in a neutral thing, I don't want it. I'm not going to wear it. I want to be able to spray it on my shirt. I try to, especially for stuff like around my head area, I don't really spray on my neck anymore. I mainly kind of do up here in the shoulder type of area on the shirt. So if something has to work with my skin in order to get the scent that I want, that's just not for me. And just to be clear, I am not at all trying to tell people, you should do it like this. You're wrong for, by all means, do whatever works for you. I just kind of wanted to explain, because I know that there's some misconceptions about this, and people kind of think that anybody who's doing it is automatically like a moron or something if they're testing on the strip. But there are a couple, I don't know why other people do it. Maybe they really just don't think about that. But for me, number one, that is a really big reason. Two, I do not want to be stuck wearing a scrubber. I sample so many fragrances that I'm not going to put something on that's going to. And I only like, first of all, I only like about, or really, really love enough to be full bottle worthy, less than 1 in 100 fragrance. I don't want a 99% chance that I'm going to want to scrub that off, first of all. Second, sometimes even with a scrubber, you can't get it off. It's just like some of them are just so strong, you could take a shower and it still won't come off. No, I don't want that. I want my skin to be for things that I actually love, or at least where I like it enough, like, okay, then I'll give it a try further on the skin. Two, I definitely know and am aware that stuff smells different on skin and on a chest strip, and it comes more to live on skin and whatever. But one, to me, a test strip is by far a more neutral territory to base a review off of when you're talking to other people about it than your skin, because it's going to smell the same for everybody on the test strip. I mean, things smell differently to people's noses, but it's not going to actually be different the way that, like, something on my skin could smell like a completely different fragrance versus how it interacts with someone else's skin chemistry. So if I were just to go off of, oh, this is what it smells like on my skin, I wouldn't have as nearly as much to say about kind of the smell, because so many things my skin doesn't work well with, certain types of scents I would never really be able to review, like earthy ones and stuff like that. So I think, to me, this is much more neutral when you're specifically doing reviews that are communicating the scent and how you feel about it to other people. I use, test strip, and I also check other reviews. I often still try stuff on skin after, especially so I can make, this is how it did on my skin, this is longevity, this is projection, stuff like that. But for every time I'm talking about, projection, longevity, and stuff, I always look also at the ratings on Fragrantica, look through the comments, what other people say, so that I can tell you or whoever I'm talking to, like, what the projection and longevity typically are overall, especially because that can differ a lot by person. I wouldn't want to just go off of my own experience on that anyway. So I'm definitely not skimming on, being clear about the projection and longevity, even when I'm only testing it on a test strip. And that goes kind of for other aspects too. That I'm always checking other people's reviews to see, like, is there something that's being consistently said that I did not get out of this, so that I can share it, like, oh, this is what typically people say, and not just, I don't want my channel or anything to ever just be like, I'm telling you what to buy or what to wear. I just try to, like, share, different fragrances, like, this is the type of person who might like this, I personally like this, that type of stuff. So I want to share kind of more as sort of, in some sense, objective as possible in terms of things like projection and longevity. And then I'll say what's my opinion versus, like, this is generally how this scent is considered or whatever. So yeah, one, the aspect of, like, I want to smell good on my shirt. I want to be able to spray it in the air and just enjoy it sometimes. There's just nothing that I want, and again, this is just me, totally fine if other people feel differently, but I don't want something that has to interact with my skin in order for me to love it. That's just not what I'm looking for out of a fragrance. It has to. I mean, it has to be work with my skin in order for it to be full bottle worthy for me. But in and of itself, just working with my skin isn't alone. It needs to smell good on my shirt and on a neutral surface for my personal kind of taste of what I like about fragrances. and I don't want to be stuck with a scrubber. I love my bottles. I sample so much stuff. I want to be able to wear the ones that I actually like on my skin and enjoy that. So I do often test them still on skin. And also, when I'm filming a review video, that's not my first. I never smell things for the first time on camera. Someone once left a comment, something like, I can't believe just smell things and within 10 seconds you say your entire impression. How do you know about the dry down? No, like I don't just turn it on and like, I see some reviewers who do that, and more power to them if they like doing that. To me, I need a couple minutes at least, like beyond that, to get to the dry down, obviously, but to kind of see like, okay, what do I really think of this? I don't want the pressure of feeling like, okay, I need to say exactly what I think like the first second that I smell it. I need to like kind of sit with it, see how it develops. But then when possible, when I still have a decant of it and it's a one I'm talking about, I will then put it on a test strip again during the video so that I can kind of remind myself and talk about it while I'm getting kind of a refresher on it. But anyway, sorry for the ramble, but I just wanted to kind of clarify that there are legit reasons to test things on a test strip. It's not always about someone being, a noob or whatever, like foolish about fragrance stuff. Sometimes I'm sure it is, but other times there are completely legitimate reasons, and different stuff works for everybody. I do think though that testing it on a test strip is going to be more neutral to telling other people how it smells than just based on how one person's skin interacts with it, because again, that can just be wildly different. And I'm not exaggerating. There's things I've smelled on other people and it's like, oh my god, that's amazing. And then I try it on my skin and it's just like, what the, like, from the same bottle. So it's not even an issue of like, I bought it and there was a different batch or something like that. Likewise, there's been ones that smelled really good on me, and then when I tried it on a friend or something like that, they were just like, ugh, and I smelled it too, and it was like, that does not smell the same. So anyway, I don't feel bad if you do test on strips. Don't feel bad if you just test on skin. But if you like doing the strips, I don't think that you should feel bad about it. And there's no reason to put anything on your skin if you don't want to, because corny, but life is too short to wear shitty fragrances, and I like to test a lot of stuff. Maybe you do too. But what I am going to link in the description for this is my favorite types of test strips. It kind of sounds silly because it's like, they're just paper, but I've tried quite a few, and I really like these, how they come in the packet and are easy to rip off. So just in case anybody else is interested, I will link those there. But and probably when I start doing giveaways, I'll regularly include, test strips, of course, and stuff like that with whatever I give away. Anyway, there's my long ramble about why it's perfectly okay to use test strips if you want to, and there are valid reasons for it as well, but not pressuring anybody else to if you don't want to. Just kind of test strip crew, stand up.